Hi everyone. Back in the grow room, well, Mom's grow room, I wanted to show you the worm bin I gave to her about a month ago. The other one's too heavy, way too heavy for her to lift or anything, so I brought her out this one. Just grabbed one of the ones off the shelf and looked at it. It has some castings in it. I'm going, well, I didn't even look to see if there was any alive worms, and so I scooted all the castings to one side here on this side, and then I fed it the other day. That was an old cabbage. It's got some sweet potato, tissue, paper towel roll. But from here over to there is all bedding and food. And the castings are over here. And I dug around the other day and saw one little baby worm. So my guess was the bin got too wet, the worms flooded out because it was standing water in here, and they, right before they died, they laid it, their cocoons, their eggs, and so they just hatched out. If I just saw one baby worm, a cocoon takes 28 to 30 days to hatch out. And this one was still small enough, so it gave me the impression that, there's no big worms in here, which is fine. It will, the cocoons will hatch out and, replenish the bin. I was trying to think there. And so it's got moisture. It's got a decent amount of moisture in it, as you can tell by the lid. Actually, it could be a little bit too wet in there, but that's why I've put the dry stuff in there. There's quite a bit of dry stuff underneath too. So that's a look at one worm bin. We'll look at her stackable next, and I can show you what's happening with that. Hi everyone. We are now in her spare bathroom, which she keeps for her worm bin, her stackable worm bin. And the other day I found a bunch of gnats, and there's like even more, so I've got to work on that. But I put all this shredded paper was supposed to help so the gnats wouldn't get down in there. And there's just a bunch of gnats sitting on top of it. So, yeah. But it's doing well. There's a bunch of castings and worms on top. As you can see, there's one right there, just hanging out. Another one right there. So with the newspaper, it blocks the gnats from laying their eggs on top of the soil where it's wet. But it seems like the newspaper is moist enough that's not helping right now. So I just have to put one whole sheet on top of it for a barrier, or a few sheets, instead of the shredded stuff, because they're still getting down in there somehow. And that should block it and kill off the gnats. Right now they're just staying in this room for the most part. And so this is the top half, like I did on my stackable, and then there's a series of holes drilled on the right hand side, so it goes across till it drains into the bottom, so it relieves the top half for the moisture wise, so they can basically survive in there. But they are surviving in the bottom because the worms have gone down and followed the moisture, but there's a bunch of newspaper down there. So let's have a look at the bottom, and I'll show you what's going on with that one. So on the bottom bin, I just threw in a bunch of dry stuff to sop up the water, and it's still wet down there pretty much, and you can see all the worms on the side here coming up to the top, but that's fine. They're not going to go really anywhere. If they get out, that's their problem. They'll reproduce anyway inside the bin. But yeah, so all the moisture gets collected down the bottom. The dry bedding will soak it up, and the worms will survive and make castings out of that. She doesn't even feed the bottom at all. She just keeps the top part healthy, and the bottom part will take care of itself, basically, with all the moisture it's getting. Because sometimes she overwaters and it goes down the bottom, or for the most part, and so I kind of stopped that. I just told her to put bedding and then food on top, and the food will absorb into the bedding and give it moisture. So that's a look at her stackable. Still alive and doing well. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.